Part 115. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 1141. Chapter 1141, The Dog-Legged Sun Zhuang. After Lu Jing said it, the Sun family began to run into obstacles at every turn. That's right, the Huo family is indeed quite capable. But the Lu family and the Li family are not easy to mess with. In addition, Huo Linyuan, if he doesn't get what he wants, he won't take action. So when Sun Zhuang talked a lot in front of Huo Linyuan didn't say a word and just turned the things in his hands carelessly. This really makes Sun Zhuang a little uncomfortable. Mr. Huo, you can't do this, you can't ignore me, I really can't do it now. How should I take care of you? You have offended both of them. How do you want me to take care of you? You should be clear about my current relationship with them. Do you still think that I can go to them to make peace with you? I will please beg for mercy. Huo Linyuan's voice was as playful as he said this. Sun Zhuang really has no choice now. How did I know that this Lu Jing was so ruthless and didn't talk about any so-called principles at all? This Lu Jing is just like a mad dog. He is just a little mad dog. I really didn't expect it. Why am I so unlucky to meet such a mad dog? Huo Linyuan was not a fool. Of course he knew that this guy was hinting at him. For Huo Linyuan, this is a way to control Sun Ying'er. Although he did want to be with Sun Ying'er because of some things, but with this woman's attitude, Huo Linyuan felt that he had to ask Sun Ying'er to follow him honestly. If he didn't get this woman, then everyone would look down on yourself. This is no longer the case. Mr. Huo, I really have no choice now. We are a family after all, and you can't do this either. Huo Linyuan laughed after hearing this. Family, are we a family? When did we become a family? Why don't I know this? Mr. Sun, there are some things that you can't say nonsense. If you say nonsense, then you will definitely cause people to misunderstand, and if the misunderstanding is big, it will be really bad. Mr. Huo, I know what Ying'er did is too much. As a father, I will indeed tell her well. Don't worry, I will definitely let Ying'er figure it out and won't go too far now. Sun Zhuang can still. Is there anything I can do? I can only say this. Now is the right time to give him this opportunity to let Huo Linyuan know his attitude. It is best to make Huo Linyuan look down on him. The more this happens, the less and less Huo Linyuan will pay attention to himself. You can realize your own ideas by yourself. But who is Huo Linyuan? If Huo Linyuan couldn't tell what Sun Zhuang was paying attention to, then he wouldn't be in his position. And Sun Zhuang's behavior also gave him an opportunity. Then tell me, what can I do now? What should I do now? I really don't know what I should do. Mr. Huo, how could you not know what to do? Something about Ying'er is indeed wrong. I will definitely tell her something. But Huo Linyuan interrupted directly. Don't say that. You can't force feelings out. Don't force Sun Ying'er. Doing so may make things worse. I know it all in my heart. I'm a little confused, but I also believe that I can make her change her mind. Although Huo Linyuan said this, the topic suddenly changed when he said this. If she doesn't forgive me, then it's okay. For me, as long as he is happy. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 1142. Chapter 1142. Sun Zhuang's ridiculous ambition. Sun Zhuang's expression changed when he heard this. Because what Huo Linyuan said, was undoubtedly not a signal. He did not necessarily want Sun Ying'er or give up on Sun Ying'er. If we say that before, Sun Zhuang was still thinking about whether he could eat both ends, or something like that, but now Sun Zhuang doesn't think about it at all. Master Huo, please don't do this. I see your feelings for Ying-er. Don't worry, I will definitely help you. I will definitely help you. I will never let you down. Sun Zhuang left in a hurry after saying this. There was no time to even speak to Huo Linyuan. After Sun Zhuang left, someone came out. This Sun Zhuang has a really big appetite, ha ha ha, I really dare to think that he wants to control the Huo family through Sun Ying-er, ha ha ha, if you had this kind of ability, then the Sun family wouldn't be such now. Luo Qian walked out with disdain on his face. This Sun Zhuang's ambition is really stupid. He doesn't even have such an idea. It's enough that he still has such an idea. Don't you want to? When Luo Qian heard this, he looked at Huo Linyuan. Huo Linyuan had a smile on his lips, a deep smile. But it's a little scary. It even feels like a beast in the forest. If you don't pay attention, you will be bitten hard. Everyone will be afraid of such a situation. Anyone who is a little smart knows what to say. So Luo Qian lowered his head slightly. Why should I think about it? People have to live a realistic life. If you don't live a realistic life, you are really looking for death. Huo Linyuan was really satisfied with Luo Qian's intelligence, quite satisfied. Have you done well what I told you? Luo Qian laughed when he heard this. Don't worry, how could I not do well what you told me? Now the shareholders of the Li family starting to waver. Huo Linyuan slowly tapped the table with his fingers. You still have to be careful. After all, the people in the Li family are not ordinary people, and I think Li Baikan may be watching. I know this, but in order to frame you, Li Baikan has been delaying coming out and not appearing in the public eye. This is a dangerous thing for a company. This is how they give the opportunity to us. I think we have to be careful and give some benefits to those shareholders. Even if we can't get their shares, we can still get some good things, Huo Linyuan said with a smile. Huo Linyuan came here and made such a big fuss. Of course it couldn't be just for fun and for a woman named Sun Ying-er. Sun Ying-er and Sun Yanzhe are so powerful, but they are also women, so they can't see so many things. If I use some affectionate methods to attract their attention. A woman is a woman. But when thinking about this, Huo Linyuan thought of Sun Ying-er. Thinking of Sun Ying-er's attitude really made Huo Linyuan a little uncomfortable. It was just a woman who had acted like that for the purpose of marrying him, and now she was like this. Sun Ying-er is a woman who really regards herself as a character. If you don't let this woman know the price. So. When he thought of this, Huo Linyuan's eyes became sharp. Then let's take a look and see who can play to the end. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Zhang Word. Chapter 1143. Chapter 1143. The air is filled with embarrassment. Sun Zhuang started looking for Sun Ying-er after leaving Huo Linyuan. But Sun Ying-er didn't give him a chance to meet at all. Can't find it anywhere. This really made Sun Zhuang a little angry. Having a crazy tantrum at home. And Sun Ying-er is on the top floor of Li's hotel. Lu Jing said next to him. And son, don't take those people to heart. You, me, and my aunt, we are your family, and you are so smart. Aren't we too many times better than your father? You are so smart, you will definitely think of this, so don't think about it. Sun Ying-er really had a headache now. I told you, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine, really, there's nothing wrong with me. I know that you must have swallowed all the grievances in your heart and endured them silently. This situation is really not good for your health. And son, vent it out. Let out your dissatisfaction. Lu Jing felt that he couldn't help with anything else. But it's still okay to be Sun Ying-er's trash can. Carry all the grievances in Sun Ying-er's heart. Sun Ying really doesn't know what to do now. This Lu Jing seems to be at the end of its tether. But seeing the silly Lu Jing, it was really a bit. Sun Ying laughed when she thought of this. You don't have to put on a smile just to lie to me. I can still tell the difference between a sincere smile and a bitter smile. Sun Ying Now Sun Ying really wants to kill this guy. It's really useless at all. I'm really angry. At this moment, Sun Ying directly pinned Lu Jing down. Lu Jing, you have been with me for so long, don't you know who you are? Do you think I will be afraid of someone? Lu Jing suddenly didn't know what to say when he was looked at with such eyes. At this moment, Sun Ying's gaze was really as firm as possible. But then, they looked at each other like this. The atmosphere in the air is really getting more and more ambiguous. That kind of ambiguity is indescribable. Sun Ying's heart, at this moment, the phone rang. The ambiguous atmosphere was gone in an instant. Sun Ying looked at the number on her phone and raised her eyebrows involuntarily. Because it's her father's number. The key is, since she didn't answer the phone a few days ago, her so-called good father started looking for other numbers to call herself. Why did you suddenly switch to this phone number again? Could it be that her father gave up on himself? When I think of this. Sun Ying was curious and immediately pressed the answer button. Before Sun Ying could say anything this time, an anxious voice sounded on the other end of the phone. Ying please stop making trouble. Your grandma is sick and is in a bit of trouble now. You'd better come to the hospital for a checkup. Please beg me, Dad, come on, stop making trouble. Grandma is hospitalized. Sun Ying raised her eyebrows slightly when she heard this. It's not that Sun Ying is unfilial, the key is that Grandma has a physical problem now, and it's so serious that she even feels like she's not a human being if she doesn't go and appear in front of these people. This situation is really a bit of a coincidence. Ying I know you are avoiding your father and don't want to talk to me, but your grandma is like this. Are you really so cruel? I will go back, Sun Ying said coldly and hung up the phone. Lu Jing subconsciously spoke after hearing Sun Ying's words. But Sun Ying didn't give him a chance to speak, so she interrupted directly. Lu Jing, you will do what I want later. Such a serious voice made Lu Jing become serious. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1144. Chapter 1144 Farce in the Hospital. Sun Ying came to the hospital. I saw a lot of people standing outside the ward. Such a grand gesture really made Sun Ying raise her eyebrows slightly. It's really a bit. When Sun Ying just came to the door and had not yet established her footing. Someone said, why is it so late? She is still a grandma after all. Why are you so careless? Haha, this granddaughter is really good, very good. Sun Ying didn't say anything when she heard this, she just stood quietly. The person who spoke was none other than her second aunt. Second aunt's son must have felt uncomfortable being ignored like this, so she spoke directly, I'm talking to you. What do you mean now? Have you taken my aunt seriously now? Are you really? It's a bit too much. I will definitely tell your father a lesson later and let him teach you a lesson. You go ahead and say it. You can go now. I'm not stopping you. Second aunt's son became even more angry because of these words. What are you talking about, you girl? You know what you are talking about. What do you mean by this? Do you really want to rebel? Sun Ying just leaned against the wall calmly, looking at the person in front of him coldly. Her gaze, if she didn't say anything, might have been like looking at animals in a zoo. Okay, second aunt, please stop making trouble. Why are you making such trouble? What are you talking about? Another woman next to her spoke. Sun Ying looked at the person who spoke this time. The person who spoke this time was none other than her third aunt. It's really interesting. After third aunt's son spoke out, second aunt's son seemed to have found the confidence. Her third aunt, I really didn't expect that when she grew up, Fire Monkey would be so cold-blooded, and she didn't value family ties at all. Thanks to my previous I was so kind to her at that time, but now I feel really sad. Sun Ying-er really wanted to laugh when she heard this. I want to laugh like crazy. She also really admired her second aunt for being able to say such a thing. When she was young, her two aunts said that girls had nothing to do with family property, so if she coveted the things in the family, she would be shameless and an animal. Even the second aunt originally thought that her daughter could marry Huo Linyuan on her behalf, and even climbed into Huo Linyuan's bed, but what happened? In the end, Huo Linyuan didn't take a fancy to him at all, he was just a prey. Ha ha ha, she really admires her second aunt. After doing so many things, can still say such things with confidence. It's really awesome. Super awesome. Second aunt's son and third aunt's son said so crazily that they wished they could drive Sun Ying-er to the ground. But Sun Ying-er didn't say anything, she just stood so quietly. The two of them really looked like a joke. The current situation is really irritating. At this time, the ward opened, and a nurse came out and said, "The patient's family, the current patient's condition is stable, you can go in and have a look, but you should be careful when you speak, if you speak to irritate patient, the consequences would be disastrous." When Sun Ying-er heard this, she felt that she had said it to herself deliberately. It's interesting, really interesting. Then everyone walked towards inside. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1145. Chapter 1145 Is Huo Linyuan a fool? As soon as you enter the ward, I saw that the usually energetic old lady was leaning weakly on the bed, looking very pitiful. Sun Zhuang immediately greeted Sun Ying-er after seeing her. "Ying-er, come here quickly, your grandma was talking about you just now." Sun Ying-er heard this and walked over. The old lady smiled when Sun Ying-er came to her, and then held Sun Ying-er's hand. "Ying-er, where have you been recently? I told your father that I wanted to see you, but I didn't expect that your father said to contact you. If I don't have with you, you're just a girl. I'm really worried about what will happen to you outside." Sun Ying-er smiled when she looked at the kind old lady in front of her. "Recently, I met a crazy guy who kept pestering me. He was like a gangster. I didn't want to deal with such a person, so I hid grandma, don't worry." As soon as these words came out, everyone's expressions changed. After all, who doesn't know Huo Linyuan's behavior now? Sun Ying-er's words made Huo Linyuan a gangster. Forget about the others, Sun Ying-er's sister, Sun Yan is really going to be angry to death. He immediately said, "Sister, you can't say that. Sometimes flies don't bite, and if a woman puts on too much airs, it won't work. If someone else runs away, it will be too late for you to regret it." Sun Yan now wants to tear the mouth of this pretentious Sun Ying-er to pieces. This woman didn't know what kind of means she used to confuse Huo Linyuan, and she also acted condescending and looked down on Huo Linyuan. Who is Huo Linyuan? Is there any woman who doesn't like him? Obviously, this Sun Ying-er is pretending. She does it just to bully herself and see her own jokes. Just run away. I'm not in a hurry anyway. I'm just a little gangster. Why should I care about this person? How could I care more about this person? After saying this, Sun Ying-er did not hide the smile on her face at all. Such a situation really made Sun Yan go crazy. Now Sun Yan really wanted to take action and skin this guy directly. This woman is really a bit too mean. Just when the atmosphere between the two women was on the verge of breaking out, the old lady's voice rang out, "Ying-er, to be honest, I'm really worried about you. After all, you are so old. You should really find someone now. I really feel now that if I find a destination, even if my old destiny is here, I can rest in peace. I can't do anything about fate. I can't meet anyone who is fate. But when the old lady heard this, she shook her head. Do you still want to lie to me, old lady? Do you really think I don't know about you and that boy from the Huo family? I know you have it in your heart. Angry, but that's how it is with men, even if he did something before, he still looks back now. Sun Ying-er knew that this was to kidnap herself morally. In the past, Sun Ying-er might have been kidnapped by morality, but now Sun Ying-er will not. Sun Ying-er has been with Sun Yan for so long and has learned a long time ago that as long as her eyebrows are moral, no one can kidnap her. So Sun Ying-er didn't say anything, just looked at the old lady with a smile. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1146. Chapter 1146. The Old Lady Who Can't Pretend Anymore. The old lady looked a little ugly when she was looked at like this. Ying-er, Grandma is talking to you. Why do you have such an attitude? Do you have no ears or something? It doesn't look like you don't have ears. So why are you like this? Sun Yan was so direct. Explain. Sun Ying-er knew that today was a game when she heard this. A perfect game. In today's scene, the old lady is a character who loves her granddaughter, but if there is anything wrong, someone still needs to speak up, and that person must be Sun Yan. The relationship between Sun Yan and himself has never been very good, so no matter what Sun Yan says, the old lady can say it. Sun Ying-er still didn't speak, just looked at her grandma with a smile. Such a smile really made the old lady's face look worse and worse. Immediately the old lady covered her heart. Oh, my heart feels really uncomfortable now. Oh, doctor. Sun Zhuang knew what to do when he saw the old lady like this, so he looked at Sun Ying-er fiercely. Why are you like this now? Do you still have your grandma in your eyes? Your grandma is like this. So why are you so angry with your grandma? What do you want to do? Do you really want something to happen to your grandma? If something really happens to your grandma, then I, as a father, will definitely not do it. I'll let you go. Ouch, 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 the old lady started shouting crazily. Looking like this, I don't know what kind of so-called treatment I thought I was receiving. The second and third aunt's son next to me also started crying to the heavens and the earth. This situation is really a bit funny. At this moment, Sun Ying-er's voice spoke again. Grandma is acting like this, could there be some innocent soul seeking her life? These words made everyone's expressions change. After all, no one could have imagined that Sun Ying-er would actually say this, and Sun Ying-er's words could really be said to catch them off guard. Especially Sun Zhuang, after all, so many people are here. If Sun Ying-er, the daughter, talks nonsense here, then she, the father, must bear some responsibility, so she directly shouted, Ying-er, what are you talking about? I know what you are talking about. Shut up. If you don't shut up, then I will be rude to you. Sun Ying-er looked at the people around her. I really want to laugh. These people use moral kidnapping to deal with themselves, but they have forgotten what they did to themselves in those years and the harm they caused to themselves. I forgot how much I felt for them in my heart. I even want to let these people die. When she thought of this, Sun Ying-er's face became sharp. You're not polite to me, Dad. Why did you say that? What you said really made me feel that I did something wrong. I was just reminding you for the sake of Grandma. Have you really forgotten that my mother is? How did you die? Are you really not afraid that my mother will come back to find you? When Sun Ying finished saying this, the old lady stopped breathing and sat up steadily. Come to me when your mother comes to see me. I would like to take a closer look then. That woman was not me when she was alive. My opponent is still no longer my opponent after death. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 1147. Chapter 1147, Can my sister use the man she used before? Although the old lady said so, her body trembling betrayed her guilty conscience. I'm just saying, after all, Grandma, you were so healthy before, why are you suddenly so sick? If I remember correctly, you went abroad to buy jewelry a few days ago. Why are you suddenly not able to do it now? Oh, what the is going on? I really need to think about it carefully. After all, the old lady has lived for so many years, so of course she heard the cynicism in these words. Sun Ying, what do you mean? Is this your attitude towards me as a grandma? You are really hard up now. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? When the old lady finished saying this, Sun Ying started to applaud. Dad, look at how powerful I am now. I cured my grandma all at once. Hey, I didn't expect that I would actually have such a problem. My ability, Dad, you don't need to praise me, you really don't need to praise me, this is what I deserve. Sun Zhuang's face now couldn't be more ugly. Sun Ying, what do you mean now? Do you really want to rebel? Do you really think that with Sunian's support behind you, can you really do whatever you want? In fact, Sunian, I just treat you like a dog that can do whatever you want. Why can't you see this? Am I not a dog in front of you? I am always a dog wherever I go. If that's the case, what difference does it make between places? Sun Ying didn't want to pretend when she saw the two people in front of her. Since this is the case, then just do it forcefully. What is this? The old lady said directly at this time. Okay, I don't care what you think, your marriage to Huo Linyuan is already a certainty. You'd better do what I want honestly. I'm yours, Grandma, I will never harm you. Grandma, this is unfair to both me and Sun Yan. My sister is still using a man that my sister has used. Don't you think she will be laughed at by others if the news spreads? In fact, at home, no one dares to say anything about this matter. But I really didn't expect that Sun Ying would say it so directly. This really makes everyone present a little embarrassed. Even Sun Yan felt that there was something wrong with the way everyone looked at her, so she wanted to teach her a lesson. But before Sun Yan's hand came close to Sun Ying, she heard Sun Ying say, Yan Yan, what do you mean? Do you mean that I said it wrong? I think you are Huo Linyuan's woman anyway, you just right. Sun Yan's eyes suddenly lit up. That's indeed the case. If you can become Huo Linyuan's wife, then your status will be really good. Sun Ying, of course our arrangement is based on our decision. Just obey our arrangement. With your actions now, you are really not afraid that Huo Linyuan will lose interest in you. Let me tell you, this is the only plan. If you miss this, aren't you afraid that if I really marry Huo Linyuan, what if Sun Yan can't control herself and climbs into Huo Linyuan's bed, or even kills someone? If word spreads, it will be a woman from our Sun family who will marry. If you don't go out, only the Huo family will want it. This is really as ugly as it sounds. As Sun Yan's mother, second aunt Sun immediately spoke. Sun Ying, you are talking nonsense. If you are talking nonsense, then I will tear your mouth apart and I will be rude to you. But Sun Ying didn't panic at all. She looked straight at second aunt Sun. Second aunt, why are you so anxious? Are you so anxious? Isn't it from the side that what I say is true? You and your daughter have this idea, so if I bring it up now, isn't it another way to take precautions against nature? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 1148. Chapter 1148. The scene is really beautiful. Sun Ying'er has seen it since she came here. Today these people have to stay here no matter what the so-called methods are. Even if it is by some shameless means. Since you are already shameless, then you should be shameless. See who can outplay whom. After all, when Huo Linyuan and I were engaged, you climbed into Huo Linyuan's bed and had before, but you didn't have the ability to keep Huo Linyuan's heart. Now that you have such a good opportunity, you can make a good match. You guys, Yan, if I were you, I would definitely seize this opportunity. These words really silenced the entire scene. We are all a family, and we all have a relationship where we look up and don't see each other, so we all know some things. Now what Sun Ying'er said. Sun Yan was really excited, but no matter how excited she was, she still had to look aggrieved. I don't, sister, how can you say that? Mr. Huo and I really have nothing. I just like Mr. Huo, but I know that there is no so-called fate between me and Mr. Huo, I admit it. Sun Ying'er nodded when she saw her so-called sister like this, and then walked towards her father. Dad, you see how pitiful your sister is, so you will fulfill her infatuation. After all, you are also her uncle and can be regarded as her father. Can you really bear to make such an infatuated sister feel uncomfortable? Sun Zhuang really couldn't bear it, and immediately gave Sun Ying'er a hard slap in the face. Okay, stop talking nonsense. I'm telling you, no matter what you think about this engagement, you must get married. You have no right to say anything. But what about my sister? Sun Zhuang was annoyed to death, so when Sun Ying'er finished speaking, he said without hesitation, people look down on her. What can I do? These words made Sun Yan and second aunt Sun's expressions turn ugly. What does it mean to look down upon? You must know that in Sun Yan's heart, there is no place where she can't compare to Sun Ying'er. Even Sun Yan thinks that Sun Ying'er is just lucky and can only be reincarnated. If you are lucky and can be reincarnated into your uncle's family, then how can such a good thing happen to Sun Ying'er? There is nothing that can compare to this woman. When she thought of this, Sun Yan became more and more unwilling. Uncle, what do you mean by this? What does it mean to look down on me? Do you think I don't know? Someone must be stabbing me in the back. If so, no one stabbed me in the back, so how could I do this? When Aunt Sun heard this, she also said directly, yes, you guys are really good at bullying people. My sister comes to rob my sister's man who is obviously my sister. I really don't want to say this, but I didn't expect it. It's really shameless. Since you are so shameless, why should we bother? Everyone was shameless, so I just tore everyone's face off, and everyone had a hard time. Now there was a commotion. Sun Ying'er really applauded when she saw her second aunt and Sun Yan. That's it? This way you will find it interesting. Very interesting. That's how it started. Sun Ying'er is very aware of the fighting ability of her second aunt and daughter. This scene is really beautiful. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1149. Chapter 1149. The old lady is very good at making arrangements. Okay, shut up, I'm still here with my old bones, and I'm not dead yet, so shut up. When the old lady roared like this, everyone fell silent. But second aunt Sun was still a little unconvinced, so she said to the old lady, Mom, you are really unfair. Sun Ying'er is your granddaughter, so isn't our Yanyan your granddaughter? And Yanyan listens to you more than some people. Have you really not seen Yanyan's attitude towards you over the years? Sun Yan also looked aggrieved at this time. When the old lady saw Sun Yan like this, she naturally showed a very distressed look. Yanyan and Ying'er are both my granddaughters. If that's the case, then I can't ignore it. Don't worry, I will definitely be fair. I will definitely not let you all suffer. Sun Zhuang frowned when he heard this. Whatever this old lady wants to do, don't do it randomly. It would be bad if this old lady messes around and ruins her own affairs. So Sun Zhuang wanted to say something. But before Sun Zhuang said anything, the old lady's eyes came. Boss, what do you want to say? Do you think I am unfair? I, the mother-in-law, am here. Don't you think Sun Ying'er is ignorant, and neither are you? Be sensible. Sun Zhuang is the head of the family no matter how he says it. How could he feel better when the old lady said that? But no matter how confused the old lady is, she is still his mother and must endure it. If it really gets spread, then I don't know how I will be scolded. After everyone was quiet, the old lady acted like a grown-up, and said, I understand what you mean very well. If that's the case, let me, the old lady, tell you, Yanyan's feelings for Mr. Huo. We all understand what you are thinking, but there is nothing that Mr. Huo can do. Yanyan is really wronged. As a sister, Ying'er, you have to make up for it. If this is the case, then you can make up for it with your little sister. The company, just give it to her. Sun Ying'er. Sun Ying'er thought that she might have gotten used to the shamelessness of these so-called family members over the years, but now Sun Ying'er is really not used to it, super not used to it. Sun Ying'er really feels sick now. These people not only intend to give themselves to Huo Linyuan to please Huo Linyuan, but also want their own company. They really didn't think about it. They couldn't say such things without thinking about it. Ha 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 ha, I really want to laugh. SY company, these words made Aunt Sun and Sun Yanyan's eyes light up. Of course they are jealous. Sun Ying'er was able to catch up with Sunian and founded such a company. Sun Yan has even been thinking of ways recently to convince Sun Ying'er to let him have good contact with Sunian. Replace Sun Ying'er's position. After all, anyone with a little bit of brain can now see how profitable this SY company is. Such a profitable company would make her happy just thinking about it. The old lady continued, although SY company is a bit small, I think it has good potential now. You guys should work it. If you still feel uncomfortable, then I will make up for it elsewhere in the future. You. Ha ha ha, Grandma, I really didn't expect that your imagination is so good when you say that. It's like that company is mine, ha ha ha, or even yours. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Zhang Word. Chapter 1150. Chapter 1150. The Ridiculous Sun Family. The old lady frowned when she heard this. What do you mean? Do you have any objection to my arrangement? Sun Ying'er, you have already been so sorry to your sister, don't you feel guilty? Sun Yan didn't speak when the old lady said this, but looked aggrieved. When the old lady saw Sun Yan like this, she immediately felt that as a grandma, she should hold a bowl of water evenly and let everyone know who is in charge of the Sun family. You are still a sister. If word spreads about your selfishness and your behavior, you will be laughed at. Ying'er, please stop making trouble now. Grandma, I did this all for you. What if you do it now? If you don't listen to me, Grandma, you will really regret it. Second Aunt Sun spoke at this moment. Our Yanyan's temperament is good, and it's because of her good temper that she always suffers. Woo woo woo, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. My Yanyan's character is so bad, it's good to be like this, so my Yanyan will suffer. Then let Sun Yan marry Huo Linyuan according to your wishes. Now that everything has been resolved, why bother? The old lady really didn't expect that Sun Ying'er would be so disobedient at this age, just like her dead mother, with such a stubborn temper. Sun Yan is happy now. Anyway, no matter what the situation is, she will benefit. Huo Linyuan looks down on her. What can I do? Sun Ying I am your grandma. Do you have to speak to me in such a tone? Can't you just be a little obedient and show your respect to me? Sun Ying laughed directly when she heard this. Okay, it's up to you. You can find a way now and give you all SY company. That'll be fine. When Sun Yan heard this, she knew that her opportunity had come, and immediately said, okay, you call Sunian now and tell me that you will transfer everything to me. I actually feel that my personality is somewhat similar to that of Sunian. I think Sunian and I will be more opportunistic together. Sun Ying didn't think anything else about what these people said. But these words made Sun Ying angry all of a sudden. Because when Sun Yan said this, she really felt that in Sun Yan's mouth, Sunian was a person who might be played by her at any time. This undoubtedly does not mean that she looks down on Sunian at all. When she realized this, Sun Ying's anger suddenly came out, and she said directly, why are you so sure? What kind of person do you think Sunian is, a woman who can climb into other people's beds casually? Ha ha ha, do you still want to have contact with Sunian? I just told you, you better not dream, because you will never be able to compare with Sunian in this life. In Sun Yan's heart, she always felt that the Sun Ying was lucky enough to be appreciated by Huo Linyuan, or she used some means to seduce Huo Linyuan. After all, with her own abilities, how could Sunian and Huo Linyuan not see her? Now that Sun Ying said this, it was undoubtedly not a slap in the face. Sister, why do you say that? Are you not confident in yourself? Do you think you are inferior to me? If you are really not afraid, then introduce Sunian to me. End of this chapter.